Well, hello everybody. How's it going? Welcome to Chicago. We're down here by the 18th Street pedestrian bridge, or at least that's what I call it. You see, we're looking at the Chicago skyline, looking north. We're south of the loop there. There's the, let me zoom in a little bit. We'll wait till people come in to chat. There's Soldier Field. There's the alien spaceship that came down and landed within the historic colonnade there. Look at the skyline. You can see the Sears Tower there on the left, the St. Regis there on the right, and this is the Metra train lines. The South Shore trains run through here too. This is generally where they're thrown out there to build possibly a new Bears stadium, a dome stadium. They're in between. See McCormick Place, it's south of us, and there's the hotels and stuff. So we'll head over that way. We'll go by the Prairie Avenue Historic District here, go to the Clark House, I guess one of the oldest houses that survives in Chicago. It was moved. We'll talk about it. And hey Sandra, hey Krista, thanks for tuning in. Look at this bright, beautiful sunshine we got here. I hopped on a divvy bike. I had some time from work. I said, well, let's go down. I'll go to a different area here. So we're on this pedestrian bridge. If you know, people go to the Bears Stadium, you probably might have crossed this bridge here. Let me make sure I'm, Chris, thanks for tuning in here. Make sure I'm zoomed all the way out. I think I am here. Good. So I'm going to hop on this bike and search for you. Yeah, pretty sky. Look at these blue skies. It's cold, but it's a pretty day here. So we'll head right down. Let me switch hands here. See, look, he's jogging in shorts there. It's, even though it's 37, I think it's one of those days where it's not going to get any warmer than it was this morning. It was about 37, 39 degrees this morning. There's Soldier Field. There's the Metra South Shore train. There's we'll get a view of it. We'll probably walk down to Cicero. No, I always confuse that. Cermak. We'll go down to Cermak. There's some hotels down there by the convention center. The new Wintrust Arena, and then we'll go over to Chess Records. But we'll cruise down here. We'll wait till people come on. I know I'm early this morning, or we're right at the noon hour, 12 o'clock Chicago Central Time here. You see how this goes underneath. What are these? More railroad tracks? Yeah, they're more railroad tracks. And I think there's a place for me to park the divvy. Oh, there's a dock. Hey, Sharon, Anna Marie. Yeah, the lunch bunch is coming in here. We'll check out some nice historic stuff here. You'll be able to see it here. And I think there's a, yeah, right there. How do I get down there? Right here. Okay, good. So let's park this divvy bike, and then I'll be able to interact with the comments much better. Thanks for tuning in to YouTube. The lunch bunch. There. So let me ram this thing in here. Make sure it docks here. Hold on. There, we got the green light. So that's twice I rode a divvy bike. I rode a divvy bike this morning. Anna Marie. Yeah, best lunch breaks crew ever. Thanks for tuning in here. So, yeah, we'll take advantage of the sunshine. So I think, yeah, let's see. There's a historical marker here. See, there's this new housing they built in the 90s. Mayor Daley used to live around here. There was a bunch of rail yards. Look, Battle of Fort Dearborn, August 15th, 1812. Remember when we walk over Michigan Avenue at Wacker, there's the outline of the historic site of Fort Dearborn. That's that battle between the Potawatomi and the American culture, which is us, that the Potawatomi forced the Americans out for a while. That's where William Wells lost his life. That's what Wells Street's named after. He fought with the Miami, and he fought as a Native American because he was adopted into the Miami tribe and was trying to coerce the Miami not to side with the Potawatomi in the War of 1812 here. But here we'll head around. The car's going really slow over that speed hump here. I want to cross the street, but the car's going so slow. It's probably trying to figure out if I'm filming it or what. But hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Are we streaming okay? Good. So this is a nice little historic district we're gonna walk through. It's not that large, and I've walked through it before. I don't know if I've done it on YouTube. See, right away we get these historic Gilded Age homes like we see in the Gold Coast. But we're south of the downtown. We're down by 18th Street, north of McCormick Place. So I guess this is still technically the South Loop. It's not. Some people don't consider the South Side starting until south of McCormick Place. Like Chinatown's like the furthest north, Bridgeport's the furthest north to be considered the South Side. But this is called the South Loop, south of the Loop. The South Loop's pretty large. It's everything south of Ida B. Wells, which used to be Congress. So look at the detail. Look at this is like Queen Anne style. Look at you got like those turrets, all this detail, and these are like some of the original, you know, industrialists, like Swift, Armour, Marshall Field, all you know, all those families had housing down here. Here's one of the original Richardsonian Romanesques. Goes back to the mid 1880s. Look at that style there, and look at the wrought iron fencing here, right here. Chicago landmark, Prairie Avenue Historic District. This district contains the oldest remaining structure in the city, the Clark House. We're going to see it, and Fort Dearborn Massacre we just talked about. But you see how we lost some of the housing. This whole street, the historic photos used to be lined with buildings like this, all the way down to like the 30s. You know, we're 18th Street, so you know we go for dozens of blocks here. But a lot of this housing was destroyed and torn down, not just for urban renewal, but it was periods of disinvestment and decline. This is the Richardsonian Romanesque building here, and it's pretty large. It goes around the corner there, and yeah, it's like a little castle. Look at the gate. Let me get across the street so I can get the full thing here. Look at the detail above the door here. 1800. See, we're 1800 Prairie Avenue here. Look at these doors. You know, it is. I mean, these are thick, load-bearing walls like a castle. Look at that. It says USA. I think this one recently went on the market. Like when I was down here last time, it was for sale. Oops, Prairie Avenue Historic District. Jane Byrne. I'm trying to get information about these. Oh, this is called the Glessner House. This is the Glessner House, Glessner, if you want to look it up. There's a Wikipedia article on it. But I want to go to the Clark House because the last time we were down here, see, there's this one and this one. These are the vintage ones. And then they infilled it with new housing here. John J. Glessner House, National Historic Landmark. Richardsonian, famous for its development, floor plan, rugged Romanesque facade, Prairie Avenue, and that's what this is talking about. Look how they got the coach houses in the back with the garages, and these are two of the few remaining here. And we'll go by. There's the Glessner House, little free library. Look how cute this is. Where do you get the books at? Oh, you get them on this side. Hey, there's a little free library here. They got these. Other cities have these too. They got some good books in here. Look at that. Look at those doors. But here, this talks about some of the, look at some of the things we've lost. These, mainly these are pictures of buildings that were torn down. And it talks about the Prairie Avenue Historic District. It talks about the Clark House. And we'll see the Clark House. The Clark House was moved. Can you believe this thing? This was built in the Lost Houses of Prairie Avenue. You know, look at some of this housing. You can look this up on your own here. And talks about the people that built it and owned it. But this house here is called the Clark House. It's 1836. It's one of the oldest remaining houses in Chicago. It's been moved several times. That's the funny thing about it. It used to exist like in this general area, and they moved it down to 45th and Prairie. 45th is a long way away from here. And then they moved it back up here to 18th and Prairie. And it's on this large lot. We'll get in there and walk around there. Look at the trees are blooming, so we're going to catch it in early spring here. And Tom in Vermont, thanks for tuning in. Evanston, 50s and 60s. Yeah, so, well, you're in the right place, Tom. Thanks for tuning in from Vermont. We got a nice crew here on the lunch bunch. Usually at lunchtime, I work downtown. I work for an architecture and engineering firm. I'm not an architect. I'm a city planner, but I take Usually on my lunch break here, I take an hour and we pick a different area of downtown and we walk through it and talk about history and architecture, and as best I can. You know, I'm not an architect, but I do like history, and we learn so much. So here's the Clark House, free public tours, 1827, Indiana. So this is not Prairie Avenue. This is, no, Indiana. Indiana is over there. This is Prairie Avenue. It faces Indiana Avenue, which is 1 block east of Michigan Avenue in the South Loop here. So here's the Henry Clark House, 1836. Look, I can't believe how early spring's coming this year. Tara, thanks for being on. Yeah, they research. If you're interested, you can look online. They had all kinds of problems when they moved this house. They, it was down. I don't know why they moved it down to 45th and Prairie down in Bronzeville. But when they moved it back, they moved it in December, and it was like cold, and they were moving it over the L tracks, and it got stuck, and for like 2 weeks it was stuck by the L tracks. They couldn't get it, the hydraulics that was lifting it moved. There's a baby, so that's what you're hearing. Look at the blooming trees here. This is March 20th, the first day of spring officially. We know we got the spring equinox right at this point. This is a leap year, so usually it's March 21st, but it's March 20th, the first full day of spring. Look how they got a nice fountain. There's a you know, a mother and child there, or caregiver. And look at the Henry Clark House here, 1836. This is like a Greek revival, or like a neoclassical and Greek revival with that portico and those columns. Look how they got community gardens here. We got some daffodils blooming. But I'm just amazed that the trees seem like they're way ahead of schedule this year, and so are the flowers, which is nice. But it looks like they're done restoring it, because when I was here last summer, yeah, it's a nice garden feature. Yeah, research it, Tara. That's great. It's spring. I know it doesn't feel like it. It looks like bright, clear sunshine, but it's 37 degrees. So I am wearing a hat. I am wearing my winter coat, which I'm glad I brought it. But here, let's check out this. Yeah, 1836. I guess Clark, he knew Ogden. Ogden was the first mayor of Chicago, and they were some of the initial boosters and investors of Chicago. And you see how they built some new housing there that you can see from South Lakeshore Drive. There's the back of that Richardsonian Romanesque. Look how they have a lot of sculptures in here. This is interesting. Look how the sun's hitting it here. Let's see what this plaque says, what this sculpture is here. But this is a nice little park here for the South Loop. So Jane Addams, it's about Jane Addams. Huh, that's interesting. But here, let's walk around the front. We'll walk around the grounds here. Yeah, good news about Sarah. Thanks for, yeah, Sarah and I talked on the phone last night, and I'm glad she's home. I'm glad that she's in a lot of pain still, and she's still recovering, and I don't know if she's going to have to go through therapy or what. But I think she had work on her. I think she had a broken bone in her ankle or foot or something. I'm not for sure. I don't want to divulge too much information. But yeah, she sounded in good spirits. She really appreciates everybody. Words of concern, prayers, thoughts, good vibes. And we'll keep you posted, and we'll see if she's back answering the comments. You know, that's the good thing about. See, this has value. You know, people that can't get around, they can tune in at least, you know, from their phone there and interact with the world. This all has value. And here's the from the Indiana. This is the Indiana Avenue side. There's a gate here. Here's the front facade of the Clark House here, 1836. And thanks for tuning in. So we'll walk around this a little bit. What time we got here? 12:11. Yeah, I can't spend too much time here. I got to get moving here. So we'll follow along here and check out the gardens here. We'll go right back out to Prairie Avenue and head down towards the convention center. I want to get by Chess Records. I've done Chess Records before. It's historic for the blues recordings that went on there. Not just B.B. King and Muddy Waters and Chuck Berry. The Rolling Stones wanted to record there. It's amazing because they respected and really admired the early blues legends that they emulated, and Isn't it amazing? All those, even the Beatles, you know, they loved Chuck Berry and B.B. King, Muddy Waters, and all the great blues legends that we'll talk about it when we get over there. We'll check out this little fountain there. I just want to catch these trees before we leave. Hey, Dolores and Anita, Richard Gardner, Denise, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, thanks for your prayers for Sarah. Again, I talked to her on the phone, like we said, and I was so happy to hear her voice there, and glad that she's beyond the surgery, and now it's the painful recovery. She's still in a lot of pain. So thanks everybody. I'll tell everybody that people are asking about her and giving her well wishes and prayers. She really appreciates that. And the rest of my moderator team, you know, and thanks for filling in. And as always, look, see, there's another historic building here. This is Prairie Avenue. This is a beautiful gardens here. You see, they do close the gate at night, so I guess they open it during daylight hours. There's hours. You can tour this thing. I don't have time to tour it over my lunch break. There, free public tours. You can go to the clarkhousemuseum.org. They'll have more information about it. Clark House Museum, Chicago's oldest house, built 1836. And again, it was moved. And see, they added this infill housing. Can you believe there were mansions, there were Gilded Age mansions all along here, like this one? This is an authentic Gilded Age mansion that were torn down. It's just amazing that these were such well-built buildings, multi-millionaires back in the 1800s, that somehow sold the property, probably after property taxes were enabled. Remember, when all these Gilded Age mansions were built, there wasn't property taxes, and that changed the equation a lot. And families would have to sell it once they inherited it because they couldn't afford to pay the taxes on it. Look at the beautiful mansard roof. I think this was a piano manufacturer, 1900. You can research this property, 1900 South Prairie Avenue. And that's concrete walls there. Look at the forms there, fireproof construction. We got brick on the side, and look, you got a nice little park here. So Prairie Avenue is a cul-de-sac here. It doesn't continue through. Yeah, super lot sizes. So am I missing anything here? Did I miss any comments here? Let's see. Yeah, we're talking about Sarah. That's good. Hey everybody, so what we're gonna do here, we got 12:15, so I better start walking faster here. So we'll head by the Wintrust Arena. They built a new arena by the convention center. I think the Chicago Sky, the WNBA team, plays there, and I think DePaul University, the Blue Demons, the college basketball, that's their arena. And we'll go right by it. And you see there's new hotels that they built by the convention center. Cermak looks a lot different in this area. They have the new Green Line station, the one with the windbreak that we show. And here's Cullerton and Prairie Avenue. We'll head one more block down. If I cross the street, we'll see the Wintrust Arena. And then we'll head back straight up Michigan Avenue. I'll just walk straight up Michigan Avenue from Cermak, which is pretty much 20th Street, and or 21st Street, I don't know. See, there's the lake's that way. That's where we started. We started with a nice skyline view. But look at these trees, these blooming. Chris says he has a magnolia tree up by Wisconsin that's blooming out. We saw the white flowers there on those trees by the Clark House. And there's Urban Hair. There's a hair place right there. Yeah. Oh, it's Tara. Wait, I'm missing something here. Let's see. Yeah, stuff for the research there. Yeah, I hope everybody's feeling good. Yeah. Kevin, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we're down in the South Loop here. They'll have more to see. Kevin, we're going to go by Chess Records. If you ever... They made a movie about it. I think it had, Brody, what was his name? The actor. Chess Records was an important blues recording label in the 50s and 60s. Chuck Berry, B.B. King, Muddy Waters, a lot of other people recorded. Here's a playground. There's a nice playground here. There's like but here's the Wintrust Arena. So I don't know, about 5-10 years ago, they built this Wintrust Arena. And it's again, the Chicago Sky, the WNBA team plays here. This is a giant hotel here. Here's the Marriott, the showroom food hall. Look how they have a brick paved street here. The Marriott Marquis. So here we'll check this out. And I guess it's a one-way street here. I think they got like some funky modernist sculpture over here that I want to check out. Yeah, Texas, thanks for tuning in, Paul. Yeah, welcome to the Lunch Bunch here. We're down by the Marriott Marquis here. This is by if you ever come to Chicago and go to a convention, the McCormick Place, we're down by McCormick Place, and here's the Wintrust Arena. Yeah, I don't get down this way too much. I rode a bike to get here to start. And this guy's backing out here, so we'll go in front of him here. And once we get to Cicero, we'll just head straight over to Michigan. We'll go to Chess Records, and then we'll book it back up Michigan to get back to my work. So we'll see if we can get to Chess Records by 12:30 at least. Hey, some taxis. All the taxis waiting here. They got some benches. Yeah, glad. Thanks, Mary Therese. Thanks for giving well wishes to Sarah. Thanks everybody for your support and the kind words for Sarah. I really appreciate it. And here's what I wanted to film here. I got the camera straight here. Hold on. Let me get the camera straight here just a little bit. There we go. Look at this. Look at these crazy sculptures here they got in front of the blockheads. It's a bunch of blockheads. It reminds me of like Minecraft or something. And see Wintrust Arena. We're down here at Cermak and Prairie. There's the McCormick Place Convention Center. There we go. Now we got the camera straight. There's the McCormick Place Convention Center. It's really huge. It actually goes across DuSable Lakeshore Drive. And hey, look at this. Look at these blockheads. Bunch of blockheads here at the Marriott Marquis. There it is, Marriott Marquis. I can't say it right. Giant hotel here. And here's the Wintrust Arena. So this is kind of a convention land. There, let's see. Dion Cole is going to be my new normal tour there. Well, September 14th, that's a long way away. Wow, they're already promoting that. That's amazing. I saw the lineup for Lollapalooza came out. I need to check it out. Yeah, Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That's what they are. They're the Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If you just tuned in, we're in Chicago. We're heading down Cermak. We're by the Wintrust Arena. Let's see what they got on these posters here. I guess sometimes they have like anime conventions. I guess at the McCormick Place they got, look, Primus, Pucifer, The Perfect Circle. It's a concert. Chi-Town Blues Festival, April 20th. There, 420. You go to the Chi-Town Blues Festival. What's this? We Them Ones comedy tour. Yeah, look at that. Windy City Riot. Oh, Windy City Riot. What is this? Wrestling? New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's the Japanese Pro Wrestling. That's interesting. So you can check out some wrestling at the arena there. So you see, there's the Hilton Garden Inn, the home 2 suites, and then this is the there's a Hyatt. There's the Hyatt Regency. That's been there for a long time in the convention center, Indiana Avenue. So we'll head one more block over to go to Chess. There's Paisano's Pizza. There's a Paisano's Pizza right there. We'll see if we can cross here if we get the light. There's nobody coming. So we're after this van here that's looking up Indiana Avenue, which is 1 block east of Michigan Avenue. And they call this the Lex. There's a Colasino restaurant. Hey, Ellis Ginger, how you doing? Hello, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in. Be creative. Your 2 daughters will be going to Lollapalooza? Yeah, just get them a 1-day pass. yeah, I don't know if I could. One year I got the 3-day pass, and by the second day I had enough. Yeah, you know, it's hard to do the 3-day pass. That's a lot of. Yeah, 1-day pass is the way to. It's pretty expensive too, you know. But hey, that's great. Yeah, like I said, I probably won't go in. I'll probably, like last year, we got some wind here. We got some wind. Man, we got some wind. Anytime you get between these tall buildings, it just funnels the wind down between the buildings. But I'll cover the crowds. I mean, I like seeing people. It brings so many people to the city, and the bike taxis will be out with all their neon and music blaring. It's funny, people in their costumes, people dress up. You know, of course, we'll have NASCAR. There'll be the whole summer will be just jam-packed full of events. That's just one of them. By then, I'll be so tired. By the time we get to the Bud Billiken parade, I'm usually just exhausted. But, hey, it's a good problem to have. There's always something to film. And now Jay, City Walking Girl, can cover it too, which is great. And other people, Vic Cohen. But hey, Harold's Chicken. We'll cross. See, there's an old auto row. There's a. I'll zoom in here. You see that there's some signage there that this was an automobile dealership. There used to be a bunch of automobile dealerships. They called it Motor Row. And there's an historic district right there, some of the old show places. Isn't it funny that a lot of the automobile dealerships moved to the north side up to Rush Street and Clark Street, and we filmed that a lot, but they used to be down here. And so we'll cross and we'll film Chess Records, which is over here. And we'll cross the street. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? We'll cross the street here. And they're making the left turn here. I'm breaking the law here. And here, let's go film Chess Records here. So what else is over here? Let's see, Harold's Chicken. See, Harold's Chicken's all over the city. Here we see some on Wabash, and here's Harold's Chicken down here on Michigan Avenue, number 71. Yeah, see people are lined up, get some Harold's Chicken. Urban Hair. We got the, but here I want to film Chess Records. And there's an outdoor place right here. They got a nice historic signage here. And yeah, they got the outdoor place here. This talks about Motor Row, what I was just talking about. Here's the South Michigan Avenue Motor Row here. The Central Station Railway, Presbyterian Church, Lexington Hotel. And then on the other side here, it talks about Chess Records. Recording studio, Chess Records. Leonard and Philip Chess, Aristocat Records. And look at these. Muddy Waters, Chuck Berry, Howlin' Wolf, Etta James, Willie Dixon. Look at all these. You know, the Rolling Stones, Muddy Waters, Bob Dylan. You know, and, well, it inspired Jimi Hendrix. I don't think Jimi Hendrix recorded anything here. They call this Willie Dixon's Blues Garden. Sometimes they have outdoor things here. Here it is. This is Chess Records here. It's an historic site here. You can tour the inside of it. It's closed. Here it talks about here, Chess Records, a historic landmark, 2120 South Michigan. Yeah. Yeah, probably people at the museum don't like people live streaming. I know, that's why I'm outside in the public. I know if you pay for a ticket, they might let you film. They probably don't like live streaming. But it's closed now anyway. You know, I'll come back some other time. But here, I just want to show the location. I'm on my lunch break here. Here's the historic site of Chess Records here. And we'll just head up Michigan Avenue. It was so funny. When I was at that other intersection, there was two young people, and I said hello to them. They looked at me like I was insane, like for saying hello to them. Like, how dare you speak to us? It's just funny. There's like a generation gap where you don't talk to people. You don't even say hello. It's so funny. It's like I must have like triggered them by saying hello. They sized me up. I looked like a hillbilly checking out Chess Records, and they'll be like, get him. But here, welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Michigan Avenue. Hey, Ricky Young, how you doing there? Well, it's just the nature of everything, you know. It's just, yeah, I'll cut them some slack. I probably look like a weirdo. That's how it is. They see me filming, and they're like, "What's up with this guy? Why is somebody filming Chicago. You know, I must be up to no good. There's but it'll get more dense. There's some retail space for lease. This is Michigan Avenue, so you see how the southern end of Michigan Avenue, it gets really not as many things down here. Look at the size of this building here, and got some luxury apartments here. Chess records, yeah. There's a movie with Brody. Here's the City Club Gymnastics Academy, and we got a bright, beautiful, sunny day here in Chicago. We got 37 degrees. It was actually warmer this morning, I think, but the sun shines out. It's because we got clear skies. And acupuncture, healing studio, LA Healing Studio, Dent Art Chicago, all dental. It's a dental place. And we got some wind here, so please bear with the wind. Look at this round window. That's interesting. Yeah, Robert Plant, all those British. Yeah, the Led Zeppelin was heavily influenced by the Chicago rhythm and blues. So was the Rolling Stones, even the Beatles, and they acknowledge it, you know. And see, that's how you get a bike off the bus there. That's exactly how you do it. You can use the bike racks, and they'll haul your bike around. And that's how you get it off the bike rack. Isn't that nice? And rockin' nails. Look at this church. Look at this church here. We'll cross the street here. We'll get you a name of this church. I've walked by this church before. I can't remember the name off the top of my head here. We'll check out this historic signage here. But here we're at Michigan and Cullerton. See, we were over there, and now we're over here. Second Presbyterian Church, 1842. This is 1842. This survived the Great Chicago Fire because the Chicago Fire, it probably just missed the Chicago Fire because it burnt the downtown and everything north. This talks about Motor Row, talks about St. Luke's Hospital, Central Station Railway. We lost there used to be a railroad station over there. Central Station Railway. You can look all this stuff up. And Second Presbyterian Church here. Look at this beautiful facade right here on Michigan Avenue. National Historic Landmark. So maybe this didn't survive the Great Chicago Fire. It says 1874. So there probably was a church before here in 1840s, and it was destroyed by the Great Chicago Fire. It was right on the edge of the fire, and it looks like 1874. At least they remodeled it after the Great Chicago Fire. Probably they built it back completely, and that's why it's an historic church. There's the South Asia Institute. That's a nice little building over there. We're on Michigan Avenue, South Loop of Chicago. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, we got some nice public transportation system. It's not just the buses and the L. We got Metra, Pace buses. You know, most things just go downtown. You know, that's the only thing. We don't have a lot of cross-town routes. Everything just goes downtown. There's the Cantina Grill. Lock at that Cantina Grill. That's a newer building. See how there's some new housing here in the South Loop. New housing over here. There's a lot of what the housing looks like on the West Loop, South Loop. A lot of balconies like that, reconverted to warehouses, things like that. Oh, lots of Led Zeppelin songs are just Delta blues. I agree. You know, think of look at George Thorogood. George Thorogood just did covers of rhythm and blues songs, and people don't realize that somebody did all those songs. Even like, you know, Ram Jam, they did Black Betty. That's an old Leadbelly song. And even Leadbelly, there was somebody that made it before him. It goes back to the 30s, you know. Old Black Betty, Wham Ba Bam Ba Lam. That's an old blues song, and they just covered it. And most people, we know the 70s version from Ram Jam, but Leadbelly has his own version before that, you know. And there's so many covers and influences, and Chess Records has a lot to do with it. And there's a movie about it. It's so funny that when Chuck Berry, you can tell people, you know, he told people when they first heard, he would show up to radio stations. They were expecting a white guy, the guy named Chuck Berry. He'd show you, I'm Chuck Berry. They said, you're not Chuck Berry. And he's like, yeah, that's me. You know, what's the difference? You know, but that was the 50s and 60s, you know. how there's great documentaries about Little Richard. Look how many people Little Richard has influenced. And people didn't realize Little Richard was gay. Little Richard struggled with it his whole life because he grew up with a religious background. His father was a preacher. That's how he had all those influences. That was gospel music. Rock and roll was influenced by gospel music. Isn't that amazing? You know, all the screams and the howls and, you know, the soul of rock and roll, you know. It's amazing, you know. It's just, I didn't know it either, you know. I learned it all later. And all these influences, it's great. Michigan and 18th Street, so now we made it back to 18th Street. That's where we started. We got 12:30, so I got a half an hour to make it from 18th Street to Michigan all the way back to Lake Street. You think we can do it? There, we'll cross the street. So there's the orange line and the green line are right there, and that's where they connect. And that, if you take 18th Street, that's the same 18th Street that goes right through the heart of Pilsen, but we're over by the lake here. And Elvis too. Elvis was influenced too. You've seen the new movie that came out when he was a kid. He would go to the black churches and the gospel revivals, and he would feel the spirit. He would feel the spirit, the soul, you know. And Elvis was, you know, like Eminem. You know, he was the white rhythm and blues guy, you know, marketed to the masses, but he was good at it too, you know. You have to be talented. It helped that he was sexy, you know. Had that sex appeal. Women went nuts, you know. We forget how shocking that was for people. People were freaking out. They couldn't, you know, before Beatlemania there was Elvis mania, you know, and they explored in that movie. And all this pin-up teenage energy, you know, young energy, sexual energy that got released. Rock and roll, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The rest is history. So here's a developable lot. There's a developable lot down here. We'll head up to 16th Street here. We're walking up Michigan Avenue. Look, the South Coast Sushi. Go get this. Well, it's boarded up for lease. Here's the South Loop Animal Hospital. Hey, look, the South Loop Animal. They got 2 parking spaces. They got 2 parking spaces for the South Loop Animal Hospital right there. They got some street parking. Look how they just built 3 floors on top of this building. Huh. Yeah, the first day of spring. Holland. Yeah, thanks for Michael. Yeah. Oh, you're talking to Destructiness. That's good. Yeah, imagine all the albums that we lost of Elvis. You know, I was like a baby when he died. He died in '77 after his concert in Indianapolis. And I have aunts that just worship Elvis. They got all his records. That's an Amtrak train. That's an Amtrak train going across the railroad bridge there at 16th in Michigan. Do you see that? Remember, we walked down underneath the green line at one time. We saw all that graffiti covered train rolling by. That's that same track. I've been on the Amtrak when they cross out of, you know, they'll pull in the Union Station and they'll transition over to the lakefront there. And here we're on Michigan Avenue, South Loop of Chicago. If you missed it, you can check out the rerun. We checked out the Clark House and we checked out the Prairie. Just one block of the Prairie Avenue historic district there. But look at his balconies. Look at his balconies sticking out there. So 16th in Michigan, South Loop. We'll just head straight up Michigan. Bright sunshine, Chicago, 37 degrees. Look, there's the L. It's probably a green line heading south there. I can't tell, green or orange. I think it's an orange line. Dunkin' Donuts. Huh. There's 16th Street, some of the housing here in the South Loop of Chicago. So Illinois had its primary yesterday. The biggest thing, there was for me, there was a tax referendum. It didn't really affect me, except that they thought it was going to raise rental prices indirectly because it was a real estate tax off of properties over $1 million to raise money for the unhoused and the homeless. But it failed. And if it passed, it was going to be challenged in the courts. It was already challenged in the courts even before it, but they let it remain on the ballot. It looks like it's not going to pass, but there's still some mail-in votes that have to be counted, so it's not official yet. Look at the skyline of the South Loop here. Yeah, I agree, and that is I talked to Chris about that. I do wish we could translate. I saw that it was like Arabic or different languages, and my apologies to people tuning in from different languages and cultures. That is a nice thing at TikTok. I use that a lot in the comments because my Spanish is atrocious, but it allows me to communicate. And oh, the wonders of the internet. Here's old St. Mary's Catholic Church, but they built this modernist thing, so it's the new St. Mary's. They got a chili cook-off coming here March 23rd. South Michigan Avenue. Can you believe this is Michigan Avenue? Like, if I wouldn't tell you this is Michigan Avenue, you'd be like, if you go Bronzeville, I've been on South Michigan Avenue down in like 40th, 50th. There's like empty lots on Michigan Avenue. It's amazing. But this is the South Loop. They're playing stickball over there or something. Yeah, this must have been a polling place. Look at all the yard signs. Danny Davis, I think Danny Davis won. Let's see here. Hey, look at the dogs here. How you doing? Yeah, France, Germany, Romania, Ukraine. Isn't that nice? Google Translate. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Hey, recess. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for cutting me some slack, Tara. I appreciate it. It's hard. You know. Hey, it's a nice dog there. Hey, how you doing? We'll head under the scaffolding here. Look at that building, huh? Now I understand why I don't come down this way too much, because there's not as much down here to film. But look, we've already passed 2 Harold's chickens. This is the second one. And then we haven't even gotten to the one on Wabash. So on Michigan, there was the one down by Chess Records. Here's Harold's chicken number 88 and Sports Bar. There you get your chicken and waffle, fries and coleslaw. Check out Harold's Chicken here. And cocktails, comfort food, craft beer, they got it all. What's this? Eye care. Well, look at that cornice. That's interesting. That's a nice building. Look at that. You got balconies right on Michigan Avenue here. There's Rush Medical Center building. Huh. Here, look at this. Look at this. Look at this apartment or housing. Yeah, it says 38. Yeah, it feels warmer in the sun. It's not too bad, you know. The sun helps out a lot. Look at this bright sunshine we have here. And some of the trees, I couldn't believe it, the Clark house, some of the trees were blooming out. Now we'll get to some interesting stuff. Now we're getting closer to Roosevelt. So we're like up to 14th Street. So here's the Rush Medical Center, the South Loop Medical Center there for Rush Hospital, which of course Rush is over by the Stroger Hospital, and the West Loop there, or south of the West Loop. Here's the Victory Tap, fine Italian food. Here's an Italian place here, Victory Tap, right on, open for lunch here. They got the address 1416 South Michigan. Here's Waffles, bacon and waffles. Go to Waffles right here. Pool bar inside. You got the bar inside the waffle joint, yeah. But here's a old fire department. Let me get around this prime here. See this fire department? This is a Chicago Firehouse restaurant's in there, but it's a used to be a real Chicago firehouse where they used to pool with the horses and stuff. But it's no longer used as a fire department. Now it's the Firehouse Restaurant right here at 14th Street in Michigan, in Chicago. And see, now we're finally getting to the high rises with the nice views of Grant Park. in downtown Chicago. And see the L's right over there. And look at the taller. All this stuff was built in the last 20 years. Dedicated to the memory of Victor J. Cacciatore Giordano's. You live over here? That's good, Chanel. That's great. Yeah, Chess Records. Yeah, I like Chess Records a lot. I had a really nice TikTok of it on my original account, which of course got deleted, so I don't mind going back there. And want to show the history of Chicago blues, you know. And look, there's a water tower. Look at that water tower. T-shirts, sweaters. Huh. There's Versailles Massage and Bar. Pianoforte, the art of dentistry. That's a nice block right here. We're between 14th and 13th Street on Michigan Avenue. Look, Chris, Pups Pet Club. Veterinary care. Bar for you. There's a clothing store. Pure Barre. How you say that? B-A-R-R-E. But here, Pet Club, veterinarian, Field of Wag. I don't know what that Versailles Massage Bar is. Here, we'll head up, going north. Here's the Pogo. Here's the Pogo van. You get your pet grooming. Just hop in the van there, yeah. Here, we'll get to Columbia College. Columbia College has a lot of murals here. F45 training. As a trainer, physical trainers. We're on YouTube, so I can say Smoke Valley. There's Smoke Valley across the way. Here's a hotel B&B. Hotel B&B. Welcome. Huh. No visitors allowed. Here's some of the Columbia College. Look at these murals here on Columbia College. You can always tell when you get to a Columbia College building because they'll have nice murals. Here's the students. Columbia College is Chicago. We're here at 13th in Michigan. Here in South Loop of Chicago. Nepal House, Sumi Japanese restaurant. Columbia College of Chicago. Look at this. This is beautiful. This Art Deco. Look at that. There's a bench right here. But let's see if I can get out in the street here a little bit and not get hit. Look at this beautiful Art Deco at the top here. I got to get out the street. Here's a car coming or van coming. Maybe I can get across the street here. We could film it. Yeah, we can film it over here. We get in the shadow here because of the sun. Let's get the side of this building. Yeah, I remember this mural. I filmed this mural before. It almost looks like the Plug Walk. It might be the same artist as the Plug Walk by the Chicago Theater. But look at this. Columbia College bought this building. Look at the Art Deco detailing here and on the side here. And look how you can see the green moss is tarnishing the side of it. But look at this Columbia College building here at 13th in Michigan. Yeah, it's a good day. It's like it's probably an old bank. It's an old bank. Yeah, it's an old bank or post office or something like that. But Columbia College bought it. See, you can see all the way to the Aon building and the St. Regis. These are these tall buildings that are down by Roosevelt that you could see from the museum campus and Soldier Field. And there's Jimmy John's Nails and Spa. They got some stores over there. Sky 55, that's what this building is. Some of the high residential towers here. Then we'll go along. I'll cross over into Grant Park. I know we just filmed it last week when we saw Cliff Dweller, but I'll walk through those sculptures, those walking legs that don't have arms or heads. I didn't realize that's a Polish artist that created those, and it's called it's a Greek name, Agora, and they wanted to have that artist install stuff in Millennium Park, but they couldn't find a place to put it, so they put it down in the Grant Park there at the South Loop. And they actually had more space down there, and we'll talk about it when we get over there. Maybe there'll be a plaque that I can find this time. See, the trees are starting to bloom out here, and yeah, they do that a lot. They repurpose a building, keep the facade. here on this parking garage. There's supposed to be a tall building planned as tall as that on the corner here, and we got a lot of wind. Anytime we get around the tall buildings, we get a lot of wind. So we'll try to cross this intersection whichever way the light. There, we'll go straight across. Here's Aurelio's Pizza. Aurelio's Pizza, another Chicago style pizza option right here at the corner of Roosevelt and Michigan Avenue, a very prominent intersection here. And there's the train stations over there. It's hard to see behind these buses. Look at all these buses. Where are these buses going? But there's Lake Michigan is that way. This is the southwest corner of Grant Park, and then we'll head across here, and then we can walk without having to cross the street and go all the way to Balboa. We'll wait for this left turn here. But Aurelio's Pizza. There's the Roosevelt station. There's where we just walked through. There's South Michigan Avenue. Mona T, thanks a lot. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Yeah, you know where we're at. We saw this stuff on Friday anyway, so yeah, anybody wants to drop out, that's fine. There's Michigan Avenue looking north, and it all could be watching the reruns anyway. Here, we'll go by these walking legs here, this sculpture here. So you get to Museum Campus that way. This is the tall buildings here on Roosevelt. Here's the nice street wall of Michigan Avenue. As seen from Roosevelt. There's the new 1000M, the full height of it there. And yeah, let's check out these sculptures. Yeah, the Aurelio's Pizza in Naples. Wow. It's Chicago sports stuff. So it's a true Chicago style pizza joint there in Naples. That's great. I'm glad that they got, here it is, Agora. Presented Richard M. Daley. Why doesn't it say the artist's name? Polish Republic Association of Fine Arts. What's the artist's name? Maybe it's on this rock here. I looked it up. It's a nice Polish name. It's a Polish artist. And here it is. Good. Agora. Magdalena Abakanowicz. Magdalena Abakanowicz. 106 cast iron figures created in Poland. Look at that. 2003 to 2006. Here it is. Some people don't like it. Some people love it. It's supposed to be like people milling around in the crowd. It's supposed to be like mobs. You know how mobs take over? And everybody's supposed to be like milling around here. You can walk right through it. Look at the feet. So here's Agora. And you can get lost in the figures here. I'm stuck. It's supposed to naturally look rusty like this. And you can walk through these figures here. Look at this great view we got to the skyline of Chicago here, the 1000M. This building's been here for a while. Look at all this new housing here. That building was here for a while, but this is all that new stuff down there. What time we got? 12:51, so I better get booking here. I'm not gonna make it. So the skate park's over there. We'll skip the skate park because there's gonna be nobody skating there today. It's too cold. You know, it's skateboarding, and yeah, it's a nice installation. Thanks for checking it out, Michael. Yeah, they were still working on this building. Look how you see the Sears Tower. There's the 1000M. You see how it's cantilevered over top of the building next to it. We'll go right by it. Yeah, they pretty much got it topped out. They're just working on the interior. They're probably doing the finishes and the interiors and all that stuff, and people will be moving in it. I think it's going to be rental. I think you could rent there, and that'd be a nice location if you can afford it. But talk to Cliff Dweller. I think he lives in this area, and he'll tell you where the best deals are. Or you know, there's so many Chicago real estate agents you can talk to. Go to Zillow or apartments.com and figure it out. But here we'll head up Michigan Avenue here. We'll go past the statue here. We got 12:52. We'll see how much ground I can cover in 10 minutes here. We'll just walk and head up towards the Art Institute. We'll go right by the Lions. Yeah, let's go up this path. Hey, he's probably going over to the skate park. Somebody's going over to the skate park. There's a little head. There's all these. There's the big salty head, and here's the Aaron Montgomery Ward Gardens. There's Montgomery Ward right there. Yeah, Montgomery Ward was instrumental in fighting Marshall Field to put the Field Museum at the south where it's at now, because Marshall Field wanted to put his museum right where Buckingham Fountain was, and Montgomery Ward says, no, this is supposed to be free and open to the public, put it to the side. And then the Buckingham family, the heiress, the woman there, Buckingham, unfortunately, she donated for the Buckingham Fountain, and that became the centerpiece of Grant Park, which is kind of one of the symbols of Chicago. Yeah, catalog. Yeah, that's the catalog guy. Yeah, Montgomery Ward's. Yeah. So there was Montgomery Ward's. They competed with Sears Roebuck. Sears Roebuck tried to undercut him, and but there's that statue that you can see. That's a Civil War general for the Union, and the women are sitting up there. That's where, in the '68 Democratic Convention, the Yippies and the hippies gathered here to protest the Vietnam War and the Democratic nominees, and had the big battle with the police riot. Mayor Daley, they were down at the International Amphitheater, which is down by the stockyards, which is now gone. And that's where Mayor Daley famously said, the police are here to preserve disorder. Which is what they did. They preserved disorder. It's not funny, I know, for people that remember that and lived through that period. It was 1968 was a very tragic and violent year that led to culminated with the election of Richard Nixon. But there, look at this statue. Yeah, Daley declared martial law. Daley was freaked out. He thought the hippies were going to spike the water department with LSD, and you know the hippies tried to gather in Lincoln Park. The MC5 actually played a concert there. This is in 1968. I mean, no one even knew what punk music was at that time. It was still like protest rock, you know. And look at these tall towers here. So this is an historic building. It's a mid-century modern. Architecturally, it's significant, but it also is where Ebony and Jet magazine had their headquarters, and the Essex Inn, and then East West University. There's some stuff here. We'll go by the Spiritus Museum. Here's the Hilton Hotel, and the Hilton Hotel was the largest hotel when it was built. You might recognize it from The Fugitive. The Fugitive movie with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. They had a big, action sequence on the roof at night, and they used the interior ballrooms for a lot of the movie. But then this is new. This is residential luxury apartments here, and there you see the Thousand Inn. It's hard for me to look into the sun here. We'll continue north here, but look, here's Grant Park to our right. Yeah, the white helmets. Yeah, the batons. They beat the kids on the head. They beat some of the press too. They didn't want the press filming it. They started chanting, the whole world's watching. And we'll go right by. It happened up here where the Blackstone Hotel, the notorious smoke-filled room hotel, where 100 years ago the guys with cigars would pick the slates in the elections, and it was just the Gilded Age power. But they're flying the Irish flag, the American flag, and the flag of Chicago, because Kitty O'Shea's is right there. We walked through there before. Here's the facade of the Hilton. It's so large you can't even fit it in one shot here. And what time we got here? 12:57. Darryl, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in from Burbank. That's great. And yeah, we'll walk by these divvy bikes. These trees are trying to bud out. This is amazing. March 20th, happy first day of spring. We got bright, beautiful sunshine here. We're heading up Michigan Avenue right in front of the Hilton. Look at those flags. They're looking nice. And yeah, the Fugitive. Yeah. The end scene when he gets in the car, it's right there. Yeah. Richard Nixon. I am not a crook. My dad always talks about, because my dad was drafted in the Vietnam War, and so he went in 67, he came out in 71. He went in the Air Force because he was drafted in the Air Force, and then, or he was drafted in the Army. He took the test to get the Air Force, which he says I wouldn't exist. He said he would have been in a platoon out there in the jungle, and he would have died in a rice paddy. But who knows? Who knows what would have happened? But he would have saw a lot more action. Air Force, he was stationed in Thailand. But when he came out, he's like, what happened? You know, he missed like Woodstock. He missed, you know, the '68 Democratic Convention, the hippies. Nixon's a hard person, you know. He was Eisenhower's vice, and rose to power. Oh, they lost their water there. There you go. So look at this statue. We filmed this statue before. This beautiful. This is one of the founders of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. I think that's what it. Tara and others helped me research this. We looked at this statue. Take trips. Theodore Thomas. He was helped found the symphony orchestra there in Chicago, which is up here. And yeah, he was paranoid. He recorded himself, you know, and that's what ended up getting him. They discovered the tapes. There was all this evidence, and then we found out all the other stuff he was saying, which wasn't good either, you know. Oh my God. Yeah, I watched the Oliver Stone Nixon movie. You know, I know Oliver Stone's a very controversial person too, but I like his movies. And look at this. This is new. They got this kind of paved. What is this? They got. I don't know what this is. Look at this. Look at this. Like, they could use this for a stage. They could use this for like a pavilion. They could use this for all kinds of things. Here's the Congress Hotel. You saw that happen. Yeah, Kevin knows about it. Kevin was like, he was here, or he lived through that period, and that's why I like talking, because it was all before I was born, you know. And thanks for tuning in. There's the Congress Hotel. So we're right at 1 o'clock. I really need to get back to work, so I'm gonna book it up Michigan Avenue as fast as I can here. And I really want to show the Prairie Avenue District and Chess Records. And it always takes me longer to walk and talk than I realize. So here we'll head across. See, we were just here on Thursday last week, right? Yeah, Thursday we walked through. That's when we saw Cliff Dweller. And but we got bright, beautiful sunshine. Look how nice the skyline looks. I can't stop filming because we got all this stuff to film. The Congress Hotel, which is haunted. There's all kinds of history that happened here. And we went by the Spertus. I forgot to mention the Spertus Museum's right there next to Columbia College. And there's Roosevelt University. We'll go by the Fine Arts Building. And that one I couldn't remember, it's called the Chicago Club, the City of Chicago Club. That older looking red brick building next to the Fine Arts Building. But there's the Bowman, the Spearman, the Native American sculptures on the horses there. And there's the Beaux-Arts pilasters, whatever those giant gateways are to Buckingham Fountain. But this is Ida B. Wells, which used to be Congress. That's why it's the Congress Hotel. And now it's Ida B. Wells in honor of Ida B. Wells. And we'll cross this street and we'll head right up into the Art Institute, Michigan Avenue, on a bright first day of spring 2024. There's the L so you can buy. We caught the light. Man, those cars almost just hit. And I missed it. That's what that honk was. They came really close to hitting each other because that taxi was trying to jump the light. Yeah, thanks, Merc. So you remember it? Yeah, you were in high school. Very historic time there, upper end of the 60s. So there's the Fine Arts Building. Look at those arches. And there's a lot of stuff in here. Here's the Auditorium Building. Louis Sullivan designed it with his partner Adler. Um, that developer named Peck made them build it higher than they wanted, and it caused the foundation to sink on the south end there. We talk about that. Look how they got the connection. Look at that alley. They covered the alley and they built over top of the alley. And you got the Fine Arts Building, and that's the Chicago Club there, the City Club, and Fine Arts Building, Michigan Avenue. We'll see if we get the light here. Yeah, Chris, there's your alma mater, Roosevelt. What a great building there. And the auditorium building, of course, the auditorium, acoustically superior auditorium in there. Louis Sullivan ornamentation, you can take tours of it. I still need to get inside there. There's so many things to do. Maybe I'll do that instead of walking so far. I'm trying to cross this street here. We'll wait till the light here so I don't get run over here. Oh, we'll film these buildings here, yeah. Beautiful architecture here. There's the looking south on Michigan Avenue where we walked in. Hey, we got the light. So we'll go by this Art Nouveau replica of a French subway station entrance. And that's why it says Metra. Of course, in Paris it's Le Metro, but we got the Metra, and that's the Van Buren station entrance right there to the Metra there coming out of Millennium Station. There's the Van Buren L tracks there. What time we got? 1:04. Yeah, thanks for checking out the Prairie Avenue. Yeah, if you joined this live late, if you watched the rerun at the beginning, we went by Prairie Avenue, we went by the Clark House, 1836. The trees were blooming and there's so much history there, and then we walked over to Chess Records. So thanks for mentioning that, Michael. And yeah, see if your student ID can still get you in there, Chris. Let's see. Friend was a commanding officer, drafted. Yeah, wow, that's horrible. But thanks for sharing that, Sharon. And yeah, 2 cousins never made it back. Wow. See the sacrifices that were made in the Vietnam War. Thanks for sharing that, Sharon. I mean, it was a rough period of American history. It you know, just like the Iraq War, it caused the longer it went on, the worse it got. And then there was the anti-war protest movement. People were drafted at 18. You couldn't vote until you were 21. They changed that for the 72 election. People thought that McGovern would get elected, but no, Nixon got reelected. And yeah, that's why I always show the Vietnam War Memorial. People that paid the ultimate sacrifice. We were by the Olive Park. He died in Vietnam. That's why Olive Park's named after him. And there's the Sears Tower. We're looking down Jackson, and I really want to cross the street, but I don't have the light here, so we'll stay on the sunny side of the street here. We'll go by the Lions. There's no drummers out today. There's no bucket guys out there beating on the buckets. Yep. So here, once this red right only arrow, we can cross. You're good. We're gonna cross. Yeah, they're doing it too. But here's the Art Institute of Chicago. We're still on Michigan Avenue. We went right by here on Thursday, but it's so nice walking past the Lions. Yeah, hopefully they'll open up these gardens. These gardens are so nice in springtime when these trees bloom. They got the fountain to the Great Lakes over there. A lot of times I lose my connection, but I got a really nice connection here. Here's the symphony. Here's the Chicago Symphony Center right there. I've been inside there, saw some classical music. Here's the Santa Fe building, which is now Motorola. And look how nice the Art Institute looks. Yeah. Or what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Isn't it amazing how, you know, it's advanced and where society could create self-driving cars and go to the moon and internet and artificial intelligence and a rising stock market that never falls. But we can't stop endless wars. You know why? Wars make some people money. There's people making money off of the arms being sent to the Mideast and the Ukraine-Russian conflict right now. The military-industrial complex still exists. And it existed in the 60s and 70s. It exists now. You know, wars. What did Megadeth say? You know, peace sells, but who's buying? You know, there's still... There's the Sears Tower. Here's the begin sign for Route 66. So I show this every once in a while. There's the begin sign for Route 66. Get your kicks there on Route 66. Right across from the Art Institute. Goes down Adams Street, right past the Sears Tower. Goes to Ogden Avenue. And here we're in front of the Art Institute. Look at the Picassos. They got a Picasso exhibit here at the Art Institute. Here's the Lions. We're right in front of the Art Institute. Thanks for tuning in here. And we'll wrap it up when we go by Millennium Park here. But look at these trees. These trees are freaking me out that they're turning green so soon. I really hope we don't get a cold snap in April that ruins everything. You know, it's Megadeth. Yeah, Destructionist. Yeah, you know Megadeth. What was it? Eddie, the guy with the skull guy with the metal blinders on and his mouth was wired shut. You know, and that's what Megadeth was. You know, I was a kid in the 80s. I saw that movie the day after. It freaked me out as I was a kid. They had this movie in the evening about like these people in Kansas, and there was a nuclear war between Russia and the United States, and they had to survive it. And I was like, I thought I wasn't going to grow up. You know, I was in a religious conservative background. We thought the world was going to end for nuclear war and Christ would return and all this stuff, you know. And it was scary times because it was before Gorbachev and Reagan started doing the arms things. And we couldn't trust Reagan either. We thought Reagan had his finger on the bomb too, you know. Peace through strength. The evil empire. But hey, it all worked out, I guess. And now it's back. Now we're in the second Cold War. There's still... The doomsday clock keeps getting closer and closer. We think 4 minutes till midnight. Now we're like a minute till midnight. Half a minute. It's so stupid. 2 seconds to midnight. Look at the University Club Monroe building. Here we got the light there. Hey, I didn't think I was going to make it back here. We got 11:11. So we'll walk past the Bean, the Crown Fountain. We were here this morning on TikTok. I'm just walking in circles. There's the Gage, Louis Sullivan building, all three of these. University Club. There's the Chicago Athletic Association. These used to be haberdasheries. They used to be hat factories there. They would produce hats on all those floors. The old Montgomery Ward's building was there. It used to have a tower. And that's where their catalog, they would show the busy beehive of all the people stocking orders, the mail order catalog for Montgomery Ward's. And now it's housing. You can live there. Right across from Millennium Park. Snow in the Twin Cities. Yeah, it's still March. It's cold, you know. We've been lulled in by this amazingly mild winter we've had. And then we'll see how the rest of spring goes. But we got bright, beautiful sunshine here in Chicago. 37 degrees. At least it's above freezing here. Still coat weather, though. And hey, we'll check out the Bean as we go by here. There's the Streeterville skyline. Part of it. Raising Cane's. Willoughby Tower. They call this the Willoughby Tower. Right there. And there's the old Montgomery Wards right there. Hey, there's the Bean. So we saw a lot of stuff today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll wrap this up pretty soon. And we'll head back to work and see if we get anything accomplished this afternoon. This walk was longer than I anticipated. I thought I would make it back here faster than I did. But north of Minnesota and Canada. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Oh, there's somebody live streaming in St. Paul. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. I always want to know if people are streaming in other cities, so I'm happy to hear somebody streaming in St. Paul, and I hope they do Minneapolis too. Minneapolis St. Paul is a beautiful area. They got those falls there where the Pillsbury is downtown, all those old granaries and stuff, and they have a nice downtown, Minneapolis, as does St. Paul, and they're connected by transit now finally. And so we'll head up Michigan Avenue. We'll film the bean. There's the bean. Look how nice it looks. Yeah, great walk on the first day of spring. We got the whole spring and summer ahead of us. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm going to wrap this up, rest my vocal cords. There's the Cultural Center. You know where we're at here. So we'll see you tonight for my walk home on TikTok if you want. If not, that's fine. There's the L going by. Scenes of the city here in Chicago. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. And if you missed it at the beginning of this video, you can watch the rerun. We checked out the Clark House, 1836, the oldest house in Chicago. They moved it up from 45th Street, and it was downtown. They moved it down and they moved it back. It's a funny story. Here comes this pigeon. Oh, you see that? I'll cut that out. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it, and we'll catch you later. Have a great day. Enjoy this first day of spring wherever you're at. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, see you later there, Merck, Kevin, Krista, Destructionist, that's great. Krista, Dolores, Sharon, Merck, everybody, Chris, Ricky Young, Paul, thanks everybody, Annette, and thanks for the good conversation. We'll talk to you later there. Have a great day, everybody. Michael, okay, thanks a lot.